Welcome to Unlock Equity. Buy before you sell. In this video, we will explore how to move into your next home before selling your current one using your existing home equity strategically. Our focus is on minimizing the new mortgage principal to lock in a permanently lower monthly payment. We will compare the HELOC strategy, the lump sum payment approach, and mortgage recasting, including how to prepare, document, and execute each pathway. Now, let us start with what we will cover today. Here is our agenda. First, we set the context for buying before selling and why it can be a rational move. Next, we define the main trade-off between transaction speed and long-term savings. Then, we dive into the HELOC strategy with its mechanics, risks, and documentation requirements. After that, we evaluate alternatives, including the lump sum strategy and mortgage recasting. We will also touch on bridge financing as a speed tool. We will walk through a step-by-step execution checklist, review a worked example, and visualize decisions with diagrams. Finally, we will test your understanding with a quick quiz and wrap up with key takeaways. With that roadmap in mind, let us frame the problem. The central problem is balancing speed with long-term affordability. In competitive markets, moving quickly often requires buying your next home before you sell your current one. But if you do not manage your equity efficiently, you could be stuck with a higher permanent monthly mortgage payment than necessary. The goal is to use your existing home equity to minimize the principal on the new mortgage from day one, thereby lowering your monthly payment for the life of the loan. With that framing, let us outline the decision landscape. This flowchart shows the strategic decision tree. If you can buy without tapping equity, proceed with a standard purchase. If you lack liquid cash but have equity in your current home, the next choice hinges on your priority. For speed, bridge financing can be effective, albeit with higher costs. For long-term savings via a lower monthly payment, the HELOC strategy allows you to move equity forward to the new purchase as a large down payment. After you close on the new home, you sell the old one and immediately retire the HELOC and any remaining old mortgage. If your new lender allows mortgage recasting, you can further reduce the monthly payment after a large principal reduction without incurring full refinance costs. Next, let us unpack the HELOC approach in detail. The HELOC strategy converts idle equity into immediate buying power. You open a home equity line of credit on your existing property, draw what you need for the down payment on your new primary residence, and close on the new mortgage with the smallest possible principal. This locks in a lower monthly payment permanently. After you sell your old home, you promptly pay off both the HELOC and any remaining balance on the old mortgage. This method is sometimes controversial because HELOCs are variable rate instruments and require strict discipline. It also demands precise documentation to preserve tax benefits, which we will cover shortly. Before that, let us compare this against the common alternatives. Here we contrast the HELOC approach with the simple lump sum strategy. With HELOC, you bring more cash to the closing table, yielding a smaller principal and therefore a lower monthly payment immediately. This can strengthen your bid and reduce cash flow strain post-move. The trade-offs include variable HELOC interest and the need to maintain meticulous records. In contrast, the lump sum approach funds a large principal reduction only after you sell. While it decreases total interest and can shorten the loan term, it does not lower your original payment unless you pursue a recast or refinance. Consequently, it does not deliver immediate budget relief. Next, we will discuss recasting as a middle ground. Recasting allows borrowers to pay a large principal amount and then have the lender recompute the amortization schedule. This results in a lower monthly payment without changing the interest rate or loan term materially. Fees are usually modest compared to a full refinance, but recasting is not universally offered. Some loan types, servicers, or investor guidelines do not allow it, and there may be minimum paydown thresholds. To avoid surprises, confirm the availability and requirements for recasting before you close on the new mortgage. Now let us turn to the crucial topic of tax documentation for HELOC interest. HELOC interest deductibility hinges on the use of funds. To preserve deductibility, your draws must be used explicitly to acquire your new primary residence. Keep a complete paper trail, including each HELOC draw record, bank transfer memos that reference the new property, escrow receipts, and the closing disclosure showing the down payment. Retain lender emails or letters that reference your intended use. If audited, you will need to demonstrate the tracing of funds from HELOC draw to the purchase. Given the complexity and evolving tax code, consult a qualified tax professional. With compliance in mind, let us shift to the step-by-step execution plan. Start with a robust pre-approval and model payments at varying down payment levels to understand how principal reduction affects monthly costs. Confirm the servicer's recast rules before closing, including minimum paydown amounts, timing, and fees. Open your HELOC early, ensuring the limit and rate terms meet your needs, and maintain clear documentation that each draw is intended for the new primary residence purchase. Craft your offer with the largest feasible down payment using HELOC funds and any cash on hand. After closing on the new home, promptly list the old home. As soon as the old home sells, wire the proceeds to pay off the HELOC and any remaining balance on the old mortgage. If your new loan allows recasting, file the request to reduce your future monthly payment. Throughout, maintain a liquidity buffer to cover overlapping payments and potential delays. Next, let us quantify the impact with a simple example. This example contrasts 4 scenarios. With a smaller down payment, the starting principal is higher, and the monthly payment is approximately $5,837. Using a HELOC to increase the down payment reduces the principal to $700,000, and the monthly payment to approximately $4,540 from day one. If you finance at a higher principal and then pay down $200,000 later, the payment stays at the original level unless you recast. With a recast following the lump sum, the payment can drop to a level similar to starting with the lower principal. The difference is timing. HELOC secures the lower payment immediately, while lump sum plus recast delays the relief. Now let us reinforce the concepts with a quick quiz. Quiz question. Which strategy most directly locks in a lower permanent monthly payment from day one on the new home? Options. A. Take full mortgage now and make a lump sum payment after selling the old home. B. Use a HELOC from the old home to maximize the down payment on the new purchase. C. Wait to refinance after 1 year. D. Make only extra principal payments each month. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is B. Using HELOC to increase your down payment shrinks the starting principal and locks in a lower monthly payment from the first bill. Lump sum later, option A, does not lower the payment unless you recast or refinance. Waiting to refinance introduces rate and cost uncertainty. Extra principal payments reduce total interest, but do not change the scheduled payment unless recast or refinance occurs. Next, let us visualize risk management and documentation using a mind map. This mind map highlights the main risk categories and documentation priorities. Under interest risk, account for HELOC variable rates and any bridge financing fees. Liquidity risk includes the possibility of overlapping mortgage payments, which requires a cash reserve. Tax considerations require precise tracing of funds and organized documentation to support any interest deductions. Lender rules determine whether recasting is possible and what minimum paydown amounts are needed. Finally, the exit plan should include assumptions for days on market and predefined triggers for price reductions if the sale lags. With risks framed, let us add one more quick knowledge check. Quiz question. True or false? A large post-closing principal payment automatically lowers your monthly payment on most mortgages. Options. A. True. B. False. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is B. False. A large principal payment reduces interest and may shorten the term, but your scheduled monthly payment usually does not change unless you recast or refinance. Next, let us include a quick visual comparing speed tools versus savings tools. This diagram separates speed-oriented tools from savings-oriented tools. Bridge financing, waived contingencies, and flexible closings help you compete in fast markets, but can increase carrying costs or risk. On the savings side, using a HELOC to enlarge the down payment at closing lowers your payment from day one, while recasting after a post-sale paydown lowers it later. Many buyers combine these approaches to win quickly without sacrificing long-term cash flow. Now let us provide a brief but important disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, tax, or legal advice. Individual circumstances vary significantly. Before implementing any strategy discussed, consult with a licensed mortgage professional, your tax advisor or CPA, and where appropriate, a real estate attorney. Terms, rates, lender policies, and tax rules can change. With that in mind, let us wrap up with key takeaways. The main points are as follows. First, using equity upfront at closing is the most direct way to lower your monthly payment. Second, the HELOC strategy can be optimal when you need to buy before you sell, provided you document use of funds meticulously. Third, making a large payoff later does not reduce your scheduled payment unless you recast or refinance. Fourth, verify recast eligibility and requirements before you close. Fifth, bridge financing prioritizes speed but increases carrying costs, so model those carefully. Finally, thorough documentation underpins both tax compliance and lender approvals. Now, let us close with a concise summary and your next steps. In summary, define your priority between speed and long-term savings, then choose tools accordingly. If feasible, lead with a HELOC to push equity forward and minimize the new loan's principal. If you cannot lower the payment at closing, consider a recast after you make a large principal reduction. Throughout, keep thorough documentation for tax and lender requirements and stress test your budget for overlapping payments. As a final step, let us end with a creative call to action. Thank you for watching. If this walkthrough helped you plan a buy before you sell move, please like the video, share it with someone who is house hunting, and subscribe for more practical finance strategies. I would love to hear what approach you are considering next: HELOC, recast, or bridge financing. So share your thoughts and questions in the comments. See you in the next video.